Less than an hour into the game, and my boys were laughing at me as I was squealing with joy. It was a cool moment, and I just couldn't help myself, and that moment confirmed for me why Naughty Dog are one of the best game developers out there. Uncharted 4, A Thief's End is all I expected and more. If you've ever played an Uncharted game, the story follows the same format as others, starting by dropping you right in the middle of the action, before taking you back to the beginning and embarking on the adventure to find out how Nathan Drake got into that situation. It's usually about halfway through the game. Uncharted 4 introduces a new character in Sam, Nathan's long-lost brother who is looking for the pirate treasure of Henry Avery, and draws Nathan into the adventure, and it begins perhaps one of the best stories written by Naughty Dog. As with all other Uncharted games, A Thief's End follows the same tried and true format of being a third-person cover-based shooter. It's a style of gameplay that Naughty Dog do so well, and there is no reason to change a winning formula. Of course, Naughty Dog have added a few new gameplay elements to Uncharted 4. Nathan now has a trusty grapple hook and rope to traverse across ravines, swing around buildings, and drag behind cars. It's a fun mechanic, and it really adds to the verticality of the game. The power of the PS4 has meant that levels can be bigger and more open than previous Uncharted games. It means that you can now drive a Jeep in some levels, and off-roading in Madagascar is a sight to behold. Uncharted 4 is much the same as other outings, with platforming sections, puzzle solving, as it builds up to intense action sequences, to beautiful lulls where you can take a breath, relax, and admire the scenery as the game slowly builds to the next crescendo. Of course, once the final arc comes, it's a roller coaster you can't get off until it's over. It took me about 13 hours to get through the story, and to be honest, I didn't really want it to stop. I loved every minute of it. I fully intend to go back and play this again, as there are so many cool sequences I want to experience once more. I pretty much just followed the story, and my second time through will likely be more of a meandering exploration of the world that Naughty Dog has crafted. Like the core gameplay, multiplayer is back with tweaks on its winning formula. During a game, you will earn cash for doing things, kills, healing, picking up treasures, which can then be used to purchase a variety of things like sidekicks. You can buy mysticals, which are pretty much like superpowers. You can buy heavy weapons, or simply upgrade your gear to make them better. Interesting choices to make on the fly during a game. Creating your loadouts is simple and are based on a point system, much like Call of Duty's, and it comes down to your style of play, what you decide to put in your loadout and the points you have available. You have really tough choices to make. New weapons and weapon upgrades unlock as you play, and you can earn in-game currency called relics to purchase chests, which give you one-time bonuses, taunts, weapon unlocks, clothes, and new skins. A Thief's End is stunning to look at. Graphically, this has to be hands down one of the most beautiful looking games released so far on the PlayStation 4. Driving through the interior of Madagascar was simply majestic, as was the lush jungles you invariably head to in an Uncharted game. The moment I saw we were diving underwater, my jaw hit the floor. Seaweed moved naturally in the current, fish darted around. If Naughty Dog decides to make a game all about scuba diving, I'm all for it. I only noticed a single piece of screen tearing early on in the game on day one, but only that moment. Other than that, Uncharted 4 runs amazingly well, considering what's happening on screen from time to time. I had a couple of connection issues during multiplayer, but that could well be my internet connection rather than a server problem. From the deep greens of the forest to ambient light given off by torches, both battery powered and fire torches, Uncharted 4 is a stunningly colourful game, and each area you visit has a unique colour palette that differentiates it from the rest. Even as you make your way across an island, from the jungle to the depths of caverns, you get the sense that this is a real place you could visit. Once again, character models look spectacular. Elena looks even more gorgeous than before. Nathan has a few tinges of grey in his hair. We can visually see that he is older than the last time we saw him. Naughty Dog's way of motion capturing the actors physically acting out the scenes really shines here, and it gives believable movements to all the characters in game. The sounds and music of Uncharted 4 are on the money once again. If there was a soundtrack to this game, I would buy it, just to play it while I'm out and about. From a bustling marketplace to the wildlife in the jungle, to the sound of creaking wooden floors and hundreds of years old buildings, Naughty Dog have really brought Nathan Drake's world to life in a way that I don't think they've done in the past. Guns sound a little deeper and more satisfying than in earlier games, and you feel like you're right there in the middle of the action. Uncharted 4 is the final game in Nathan Drake's story, but what is right it was. It is definitely the best outing, for me anyway, in the Uncharted series, and that's a pretty tough call as Among Thieves was my favourite until this came out. Uncharted games are an interesting one to talk about with replayability. There is no progression system for role players. The levels are mostly linear. There's no side quests to wander off with, but it works. I've played every Uncharted game multiple times over different difficulty levels. After completing the game for the first time, you can unlock all kinds of bonuses to have fun, from infinite ammo that'll make some difficulty levels easier to beat, to playing the game in a rainbow land or as a cell shaded board game like Borderlands. It's up to you how you play it once you're finished. If you are someone who likes taking photographs, Uncharted 4 comes with a whole photo suite of filters and the ability to move the camera around to get that perfect angle, even removing the character model if you just want a stunning shot of the scenery. It's just a shame we can't set these images as wallpaper for the PS4. Is it a buy or rent? For me, this game is buy, no hesitation. Naughty Dog have once again set the bar for storytelling, graphics and gameplay, and I would not be surprised if this is Game of the Year for many people. The question I ask is what's next for Naughty Dog? Have they hidden a clue to the next game buried somewhere in the background like they did for Last of Us and Uncharted 3? Whatever game Naughty Dog creates next, I'll be buying it and enjoying the adventure they take us on.
We don't mind some structural problems and water damage.
Yeah, clearly some drainage issues.
A real fixer-upper opportunity.